Hey, it's Sam, and today in this video I'm going to be telling you about my newest PB, 3x3 cubing. So this latest PB is 15.752 seconds. It is my third ever sub 20 solve, and is a big leap from my prior PB of 18.638 seconds. In this video I'm going to share with you what I did during the solve to get such a time, and how I think I practiced effectively to get such a time. I'll start with the solve itself. This is my Tornado V3 flagship edition. It is the cube I got the PB with, and it is my main. I use Rue, but even for CFOP, Petrus, and ZZ users, I think that this video is still going to be valuable for you to think about how you could perhaps practice more effectively. Let's start with scrambling the cube. I'm going to put the scramble on the screen and in the description if you'd like to follow along. Here's the scramble. During my inspection, the first things I noticed were this edge right here, already in the right spot. So we could do a first block right here, blue first block, and this pair. We already have this orange-blue pair. Now this pair is not in the right spot. This pair needs to go here, but it's already made for me, which is really good. And then what's even better is I notice this pair in the back. It's a blue-red pair. So I have both of the pairs for a blue-white block made for me. Now they just need to be inserted into the right spots. As soon as I saw this, I knew it was going to be my PB. But that was really quick to notice, so I decided that I would take a look at second block to see if I could start planning a little bit of that as well. And that is when I saw this green and white pair. This green and white edge, which is the edge that goes over here. That's our DR edge. So I had both of my first block pairs and the DR edge for my second block. At this point, I decided to start. I start off the solve by inserting this blue-red pair like this. So I use the advantages of Rue to insert this without having to rotate. And what this does is it takes this pair out while maintaining it intact. So again, what I did there is I did an L wide move, L wide prime, a U prime, and then an L, because that way this is still fully intact. If I had done an L wide, this would not be intact. The edge and corner would be separated. So I did an L. And then I inserted this pair to the back, like so, the same way. Now, here, this is a crucial part in the solve. And this is a moment in the solve in which I could have done better, but I didn't. Let's take a look why. What I could have done is, instead of doing an L wide prime to insert that pair, I could have done an L prime. Why? Because now I have this DR edge available up on the top to insert, but I wasn't paying attention to that. So instead, I did a full wide move. And then I realized, hey, I'm missing the DR edge. It's over here. So I bring it up to the front, and I insert it like that with I believe that's a reverse sledgehammer. So F, R prime, F prime, R. Okay? So that was not the most efficient way to insert the pair. Sorry, to insert the edge, but that's what I did. Now, the next thing I saw was this pair. And I knew I could do this pair like so. First I would separate the edge and corner, then use wide moves to put them together, and now they're together here in the back. And then I would just insert to the front. Now, you may have noticed this pair was down here, completed. But I didn't notice that. I only noticed this pair. It is very convenient for me that this pair rebuilt itself even after I destroyed it. That was amazing luck for me. So what I did after that was I inserted the pair. Now, first and second blocks are done. The next step is CMLL. I do my CMLL algorithm here. This is a reverse sledgehammer followed up by a reverse sexy. And my CMLL is done there, so I have all my yellow corners facing up and permutated correctly. Now, I see my EO case. So we have this bad edge, and the rest are good edges. The algorithm for this case goes like such, M prime, U prime, M. Now I've changed to my arrow case, which is what I want. What I could have thought about here, even if it wouldn't have done anything, I could have thought about EOLR. This is not a good EOLR case, but I didn't even think about EOLR because I knew that if I took too long to think about it, since I'm still learning EOLR, it might affect my chances at getting my PB. So I didn't think about EOLR. Yes, I should be thinking about EOLR because that's how I'm going to improve, but in this solve I wasn't. Instead of considering EOLR, I went straight into doing the arrow case. So after aligning it, M prime, U, M, and then I just finished my LR. So I have my two LR edges here, and I put them in correctly here and here. Then I notice that I have a double swap case. It's a misoriented double swap case. Sometimes you see them like this, and sometimes you see them like this. And this is a better case. Now, what I should have done is I should have, instead of aligning the top layer, I should have looked and recognized the double swap case, and I should have known, I have to misalign it by 180 degrees. But I wasn't thinking like that. I was sort of panicking. When you get a good time, you're mostly panicking throughout the whole thing. So instead of doing the efficient thing, I wasted a split second doing a few moves. But after that, it was an easy finish to solve, and stop the timer, 15.752 seconds. Overall, the solve was very lucky. The pairs I made and destroyed kept themselves for me. My CMLL case was easy, my EO wasn't too bad, and my last step with the double swap was very easy, despite some inefficiencies. So what do I think helped me get to this point in skill? This is a huge leap for me, since it's my third ever sub-20 solve, and I can see a lot more sub-20 solves in the future. I think what I did is I practiced in a very different manner. I was on vacation for a week, and I didn't want to bring my main cube because I didn't want it to get damaged or lost. So instead I brought a old RS3M 2020. It's a good cube, but nowhere near the level of the Tornado V3. I practiced with this, I got a lot better at look ahead, I learned some EOLR, and I learned some CMLL. I learned a lot, because instead of focusing on turning fast, I was focusing on becoming more efficient, on learning new techniques that I hadn't thought of before. And then when I came back home, I didn't forget about these techniques. I picked up my good cube, and I said to myself, now I have the ability to turn fast with good technique. Before I was turning fast with bad technique. Now I have better technique. Because instead of focusing on turning fast, which I knew was not going to be sufficient with a slower cube like the RS3M 2020, I focused on learning. When I came back, I had the physical advantage of a good cube and the mental advantage of good technique. What I think I'm going to do is when my progress begins to stagnate again, as it did before I got this PB, before I practiced with my RS3M, is I'm going to pick up my RS3M, or perhaps a different cube, a different slower cube, not my main, and I'm going to practice with it for a week. Instead of focusing on turning fast, instead of focusing on getting good times, I'm going to focus on learning, and I'm going to get good with what I learn. And then I'm going to come back to my main, and I'm going to regain the ability to turn fast, while maintaining my techniques. Thanks for watching. I'm really glad I was able to share my experience with practicing and getting this PB. Tell me what you think of my advice. Tell me if you try it, tell me if it works with you, tell me if it doesn't. If you want to see more cubing content like this, where I discuss my PBs, show you some solves, and show you some cubes, then make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. See you in the next one.